Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, and welcome to another wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I am joined with some of my most favorite people in the world. I have Mr. John from A&J Outdoors, of course,
Hey.
Grant McIntosh, and today we are joined by Jeff Davis from Pond Predator Nation. We're going to get into him in just a moment here. Before we do, especially if you're catching us on the replay, I have to ask that you consider please subscribing and hitting that notification bell and giving a like and doing all the YouTube things so that you never miss an opportunity to come and hang out with us for just a bit. So, gentlemen, let's start off with you, Mr. Davis. Tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us how your weekend went.
Well, hey, guys, I'm Jeff. I live in the great state of Kentucky, home of horses, big donkeys, and bourbon. And I live very close to proximity of all of them. I do mostly pond fishing, but I do periodically do some creek wading, river wading, and lake fishing, banking and kayak. And my weekend was pretty good. Hot. Spent some time with some family. Went hunting for some pacus at the zoo, which I did find. And went and spent a little time at the racetrack. And Sunday was a nice relaxation day.
Did I hear you say pacu?
Yeah.
Isn't that like Arapaima Brazilian like?
It's like it's the fake piranha.
Yeah, like a piranha. Yeah, okay, that's where I was going with that, like a piranha. That is so high on my bucket list. There's like a pond around here somewhere that has a bunch of them in it, and I want to catch that fish out of a Texas pond like nobody's business. That is so high on my list of things to do.
Sounds like some decent fun action there too.
Be fun, right?
Exactly.
I just think that'd make an awesome YouTube video. But also, it's just like a bucket list thing. I just want to do that. Grant, how was your weekend, man? What are you up to?
I was on call again this week. We had crappy weather. It was windy, nasty. Not too much outdoors activities.
Sorry to hear that, man. So, unlike you, somebody else here managed to brave those exact same elements to get out there and absolutely tear it up. John, why don't you tell us all about the amazing haul you had down on Pottery Island this weekend?
I hauled a lot of food into my belly. I hauled a lot of beverages into my belly. I hauled around with my friends and family. And I hauled in a few hardheads because the weather was horrible. And Ben could speak to it too. He was there. Got to see Ben for a little bit when he was going down the island. And surf fishing wasn't the thing to be doing while we were there. So we hung out on the beach, had some friends come down with us from San Antonio, and just had a good time and didn't shoot no fishing video. It was all good though. It was all good. Hey, Stanley, have you seen that the thanks, the super thanks, or whatever they call it now, is now available for everybody? So if you got a YouTube channel and you're monetized, and you want that on your screen, just go into your whatever it is, monetization, supers, and then where the super chat and all that is. There'll be a button for super thanks. Just click that dude live and they'll show up under all your videos except for premieres and live streams. And then somebody can click that thank you button, and just like a super chat can give you a few bucks if they want.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Stanley's one of the few who had it for a while now. They just opened it up to everybody else who's good enough to have it. They had to have Stanley test it out for us all.
And I did exactly not. Like I didn't collect a dime from that. It's kind of funny because I've had that for like almost a year now, and I didn't collect a dime. But that having been said, now that it's regularly available, something that I kind of want to do is I just for fun, and I don't know how I can make this like a full-fledged video, but I seriously want to go and just find a bunch of like smaller creators, like find a bunch of the sub 1,000 if they allow it, or if not the 1,000 subscriber guys, and just go start giving thanks, like little things to all those guys. Be that very first person to have donated to them. I think that'd be so fun. I'd like to make a whole like video on that.
That's cool. I got one more thing for you before we beat up talk about your guest.
All right.
Real quick, Ben, remember, Ben, you asked me a couple shows ago, or maybe longer, about if I had any problems flying my DJI drone. And I hadn't flown it. So I'm like, no, but I haven't flown it. So I finally, of course, I didn't take it to the coast because the wind was howling. But the week before, I went ahead and just put it up here, or went to put it up here, and hit my DJI Fly app, and it pop up, and it closed. It pop up, and it closed. It pop up, close, and give me an error message. I'm like, well, shoot. It must have updated something. Let me delete this and reinstall it. So I delete it. I go to, since I'm using Android, I go to the Play Store and search for DJI Fly. It don't exist. And I'm like, well, this is a problem because I need to have that to fly my damn drone. So did a little research, YouTube and other, and there's some kind of political thing going on with DJI that Android doesn't have them in their Play Store, the app available. But they said, just download this other thing. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I went to DJI. They got this file you have to download, and then it was supposed to automatically just install it. Well, I download the file, and it does nothing. So I had to go on my phone, into my files, click on it there. Then I get a message saying my phone doesn't let me download from that location. I have to go into settings and change that. Long story short, I finally got it to download the Fly app, and it flies. It works fine. It's just what a rigmarole that they put everybody through with that kind of crap.
Man, I mean, we've all been through that on one. If it's not drones, it's going to be the
cameras,
like
GoPros,
video codecs, and everything else. One of these days, like the grandkids are going to have it so simple. Yep. They're going to have like a little drone that flies around them. It's going to have like a 12-hour battery life. It's going to be filming in like 8K. And, it's going to be like a 3-chip 8K that's going to be whatever, Good and we're going to be like, back in my day, I had to sit there with my cell phone. Broken tripods.
Yeah, that's true.
If you wanted to download anything, you had to make sure you're on a hotspot.
DJI 4 Go app is what Peter says. The TV remote. Yeah, we're going to be telling kids about the TV remote.
Static background.
Is that me?
Station or something?
Who?
You hear a static background like a TV
for a
station?
second there. Mr. Matthews, good afternoon. Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us and everybody else in the chat. We have Mr. Ben Covarrubias, Peter Orchard Studios, Small Water Charters, Scully Nation Adventures, Nicholas Pouliot Outdoors. Of course, we've got AJ. Danny Baker's hanging around. I saw him earlier.
Yep.
Real quick here, Scully Nation Adventure says he wants to go do some fishing down at the pack. It's been pretty good down there. I've been killing it on Sheep's Head. I'm hoping to get into something else because I feel like doing 8 videos on Sheep's Head may be just a little bit too much, but I've still got more to come. He says a couple weeks ago he was down there, got some bull reds and sharks. I'm hearing the bull reds are around. I haven't gotten into it myself, but that's actually something that I want to get my father-in-law into. I have plans on trying to drag him out to the end of the Port Aransas jetty again to get into him. Hernia surgery and bad knees and everything else going around makes it difficult.
Yeah, that's a haul.
Yeah, it is. It's rough.
I do like that cart you guys have in the last few videos.
Yeah, so that thing is awesome. And that thing, you can take it, like we take it out on the jetty, and some of those gaps, it'll be like a 3-foot gap in between rocks, and it'll be like an 8-foot, you've seen it, it'll be like an 8-foot drop down in between those things. And you feel like you're going out over the expanse, trying to drag it, like you're going to lose all your gear down into the rocks. But it does. It takes the rocks like a champ. It made it all the way out to the end of the jetty and just killed it. So I can't hold it up with the stomach issues right now, so it's going to be a little bit of a delay before we're able to get back out there. But that is the goal, is to get back out to the end of the Port Aransas jetty, and that thing makes it so much easier to drag ice chests and tackle boxes and live bait and everything else.
For sure. Yeah, I got one of those a few years back when we were fishing the jetties a lot, and definitely a lifesaver, or back saver, I should say.
Yeah, stomach saver on me, but yeah, absolutely the back too. Small Water Charter is saying they got a 7.8 bass yesterday.
Nice.
That's killer, man.
I'm jealous.
That's a
That's
stud.
a good one.
Mr. Matthews asking, are the sheep's head still biting? Yes, they're not as good as they were. They are migrating through, but they are still there. They'll be there year round. That big movement of them has kind of moved on, but they are still there. We are still getting them. In fact, I'll show you. I do have a slideshow. I'll show you real quick here, just real quick. Let me get to it. So my father-in-law, Rich, is working on our house. He's a fantastic general contractor, and if anybody is in need of some work in the Corpus Christi area, Coastal Bend, anything like that, I mean, I'm an hour and a half away from where he lives, and he comes out and works at my house. He does amazing work, but this is what he does every single morning before he comes to work, is he makes sure to catch enough dinner for
God
everybody.
bless him. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I'm proud of it. So this is the pictures that he sends me every morning. And this one on the right, this is the funniest damn story. That sheep's head, he got chased down by a shark, or he got beat up on the rocks and stuff before he got caught. So this guy clocked in at like 18 inches, but he's missing so much tail. I have no idea what I still haven't gotten a full story as to whether or not this was, maybe originally an 18-inch fish, or if he measured in at 18, and he probably would have been closer to 22, 23 if he actually had a tail. You're checking in, you're headed down that way tomorrow, feel free, hit me up. I will give you all of the information that I've got in order to help you do your absolute best at getting into them, because they are still there. You can still catch a limit for sure. And if you need and if there's anything I can do to help you out with that, I am more than happy to do so. So, speaking of like photos and stuff like that, Jeff, let's take a look at a little bit of what you do. So this gentleman out of Kentucky is one of the best bass fishermen that I know. He's out there all the time. He's notorious for hopping ponds and getting into lunkers just all over the place. I'm surprised that you and Grant haven't gotten together for a trip yet. Let's take a look at some of the work that you do. And one of the things I want to say is I love, it's not so much apparent in these, but I got it in a couple of photos here in a moment. I love how artistic you kind of get with the photos. At first, we're just looking at like some of these catches. So what you got for us here, man? You want to tell us the backstory on these?
Well, I think that one on the left-hand side, that was probably, man.
That was a while back. I dug back in your library to get them.
That's an old one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might have been our first topwater bite of that year. Actually, on the Wiki Carrot that Marty's made. And that lure is actually still at that pond hanging on a line, fire line. It taunts me every time I'm there.
It's because of those trapper tackle. What are those called? Those hooks? I love those
trapper
hooks.
Tackle hooks.
Yeah.
And that pumpkin seed, I think that's the first wading trip of the year there, a couple of years back too.
I just had to throw that in there because those things, that is such a gorgeous looking fish. You actually get those on artificials?
Yep. These will hit anything. I find my best luck on them has been with caddisflies and tadpoles. They're smaller panfish.
Interesting. I'm going to remember that because I'll be doing a little bit of that I'll be doing a little bit of that this summer myself. I'd love to get into them. And I've never got a pumpkin seed before. I've only got the regular little guys. What's up, Mr. Mark J. Larson? Appreciate you coming and joining us, my friend.
What's up, Mark?
Talking about getting artistic here, I know exactly the program that you're using on those. You a Snapseed person?
I'm a Snapseed, Adobe Photoshop, and what's the other one? Let's see. Snapseed, Adobe Photoshop, Photoshop Express, and Canva are the four that I use. Alternate between all of them. So that one was the one on the right was the first winter catch about 2 years ago. It looks like a winnow on an underspin. And that other one, I think that was a Heldermite catch at the same pond as the first shot.
Yeah, I want to say I stole these like from back to back on there. And we're moving more towards the present. I'm starting off with the old ones, moving up to the present ones.
It's good. You're testing my memory.
Yeah, right. I believe you were talking about tournament season in these pictures.
Yeah, that might have been. Oh, yeah, that's that Super Basketball tournament that I did every year
Hey, Wayne.
on Facebook.
Oh, is that okay? So it was for a Facebook tournament. I wasn't sure about that. I didn't know what tournament you were talking about, but I know you were talking about tournaments in there.
The one on the right was I think it's on a bluegill, but caught on a Maltese grasshopper.
The lure as big as the fish.
Yeah,
That caught my attention.
that was caught at Green River Lake. And then
All right.
the one on the left was a tournament fish, I think, with a Nico crawl on a Jika rig. That one was caught last year.
Like I said, I love the effects you're using on the photos to make them look like that. That's solid work, man.
Thanks, man.
So,
All right. You guys remember the great toilet paper shortage? You know, we were talking about biscuits and everything else earlier.
yes, sir.
Well, having a little bit of fun at it. My father-in-law and my wife, every time they go somewhere, my father-in-law more particular, he hit every place and hit toilet paper. Every single place. Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Walmart, Kmart, the whole 9 yards. And funny thing is he's the only one that lived in his house. So you'd walk in and you'd think he was in a warehouse of paper towels and toilet paper. And so just since I couldn't get out and do any fishing that time, I figured I'd make a little fun of it. I did a little video on that too, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what you were referring on. I stole all of these off of the Pond Predator Nation Instagram. We have links to everybody's YouTube channels in the description of the video down below, and I highly suggest you check everybody out. I don't have social media links for everybody, but check out their YouTube channels, subscribe, and do all of that fun stuff. Get into the social media stuff because a lot of we have a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I'm razzing him about here. So, what are your plans for 2022? What are you doing?
Well, I am trying to get out and fish as much as possible. Keep up with the YouTube thing. Enjoy family life and spending time with my kid. Sneak her out fishing as soon as I can when her mom's not at work, when her mom's working. Paint some more lures. And just enjoy life to the fullest. Do a little bit of traveling.
It's another thing that I kind of want to get into is making my own lures also. Real quick, we have Blue Collar Fishing. Kelly, how you doing, man? Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us.
Kelly?
We have Wayne, Sea Pro Fishing, says he is alive, working on an inshore video, went offshore for the first time since last year. Got an hour of fishing before the skies opened up. Let me ask you, man, how'd it go? Dude, Wayne, I want to hear about this. I am trying desperately to get some plans set out so that I can get down into Florida this summer. And it's going to be rough. I've got a rough schedule, but I've got like 3 people that I want to go see in Florida. And I'm going to put you in that, like, I'm not sure if you're 2 or 3, but you're right there. I've got one other one, and that's not to demean you at all. I got another buddy of mine that I want to go see over there. But now I want to hear about your fishing. What's been causing your downtime? Let us know. And what can we expect as far as a video as a result of your fishing trip?
Oh, you're still talking to me?
I was talking to Wayne on that one. Just saying hi, seeing, yeah. So he's talking about June or July. Oh, you're asking me June or July? Probably July. I'm not sure, and it's not 100%. So I'm not, I can't give a definite answer. I'm really trying to push. Probably looking at something on July. Is your son's baseball? You said you're and rough seas.
That's
that
what's
gonna be
delayed for him fishing lately, I guess.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir on that one. And he's editing a snook video.
Hey, but at least you're able to get out there. That's the bonus thing.
Yeah. So this is what John had to deal with last week, and this is what basically my video is going to be coming up with in a couple of days here. Not the best picture, but like all of that blur is sandstorm. I went fishing in like 50-mile-an-hour winds, and that's what the entire video is going to be about. Is like fishing in 50-mile-an-hour winds.
It could be
Not the
ridiculous.
best photo for it, but yeah, I mean, and just I'm super proud of this video that I got coming up, just because I was able to accomplish making a video in 50-mile-an-hour winds, and it's not completely terrible, which it should have been. Everybody knows like wind noise is like the thing that just completely destroys a video. And I'm hoping that is not the thing that's going to completely destroy this video. If it just makes it through without terrible wind noise, then I'll be good to go. What's up, Fishing the Mitten? How are you doing, man? How was your weekend last weekend?
What's up, Josh? Been a while.
Yeah, Danny Baker saying he hadn't been out in a while. John, what do you got? What kind of plans have you got coming up here? It's not the best conditions right now.
Who's that?
You. Starting off with you, I'm going to ask everybody the same question.
So, well, you guys have been following along with the boat dealings, steering, all this stuff. So I still got to get it on the water and just make sure it's right. So not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, I'm probably Friday morning going to take it to the local lake and just get it out there and put it through the ringer, make sure everything's right, and then do a little fishing, probably drift fishing for cats or something.
That's a good way to use it, huh?
Ben says wind noise ripping past the mic is the surest way to make me watch a different video, and I totally agree. So I'm going to have to hold you to it on this one. I'm proud of this one, but I'm also a content creator on YouTube, which makes me completely full of myself and a total narcissist. If I failed, if I am lying to you about wind noise in the video, please let me know. Don't watch another second of it, but do let me know. Don't let me walk away thinking that this is okay. What I did is all right. Because if it's not, I need to know. I need to be put in my place. Fish in the Mitten says he's just working his life away and watching my daughter get older and older by the minute. Yeah, same here. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to make the YouTube push that I am, because I'm enjoying the time that I get to spend with my family. And that's, I want more of that.
Something to look back on.
Exactly. That's an underrated element of everything that we do. Not that my daughter's going to be like 30 years old and thinking, man, I really wish I could watch some fishing videos, but it'll give her an opportunity to watch some videos of, when she was younger and,
Family.
And sorry to say, when I'm not around anymore, she will have plenty of podcasts and YouTube episodes to hang out and watch.
Yep.
It's funny, once it goes to YouTube, it's there forever pretty much.
Danny Baker Fishing says, just overdub and narrate it. I've done it. And yeah, I pulled every trick in the book on this one I got coming out. And it's not amazing. I'm not saying that this is a super great video. I'm saying it's not an utter failure. Is the classification that I'm putting on it. So Grant, what do you got? What are you going to be doing here in the near future? What kind of plans you got for us?
I'm planning on making a garden video this week.
Yeah.
Got what I have ordered. What is left of it's coming in tomorrow. So get this project we're on now. Get it finished. Hopefully in the next few days.
Yeah, I look forward to that, man.
Yeah, as far as fishing, I don't know. We'll see. It's supposed to be nice today and tomorrow, and then rain for 4 days straight.
Blue collar.
What's he saying? Did John win the bet? Is that the reason he doesn't have to wear the other guy's name on his chest? No, I'm wearing Grant. Here's the deal. So John and Grant are really awesome about, like, every time we do a live stream, they always, every single show without fail, these guys always have somebody else's, like, they're always promoting. I love it. I have so much respect for that. They've always got somebody else's, like, merch on and everything, to the extent that I went and just painted Grant's name on a t-shirt. And honestly, I hate this shirt because I think I did a terrible job with it, but I wear it because I'm like, I've got to like help these guys out. I got to do the same thing, you know, show
Well,
them.
and Grant doesn't have a merch account, so he doesn't have any shirts made or nothing to order.
Yeah. Which, hey, if you want to work on that, if you have some thoughts, Grant, I'm more than happy to lend some graphic artist stuff for you. I bet you if Peter's still hanging out in the chat, he'd be, probably be willing to do the same thing, get you a merch account going.
That'd be something with some worms on it.
Right.
There you go.
Speaking of which, what are the odds of getting some worm content in 2022?
That's a possibility. Possibility.
How are they doing, by the way? At the very least, we could get a little bit of an update.
I don't have very many. Yeah, most of my systems are dried out. Yeah, basically just my bag systems.
The vermin bag.
Kelly, yeah. I've got some a lot of fishing tackle that I've won.
Yes, he has.
Shirts.
Yeah, he does.
Few shirts.
He always wins.
Kelly's was about the only one that came.
So the inside joke on that, for anybody who doesn't know or wasn't around a couple years ago when we were all really live streaming hard individually, Grant was notorious for winning every single giveaway that anybody ever did.
I think you might have won one of mine too a while back, Grant.
Uh-oh, did I miss it?
He won 2 of mine.
I know. Mark J. Larson's won a bunch lately too.
Yeah, Mark's got some luck.
Danny
I'd like to get out fishing here pretty soon, hopefully.
Good.
I hope you do. Speaking of which, so you guys, just so you know, Jeff and Grant, I'm partial to both of you gentlemen for a lot of obvious reasons here, but just so you know, you two are probably 2 of the best bass fishermen I've ever met in my life. I don't know what you guys are as far as like location and stuff like that, but if you guys ever did have the opportunity to go do a little bass fishing together, that would be like, in my opinion, the most epic collaboration I've ever seen.
I'm always game.
If I remember right, I think we're about 4 hours away. You're close to Lexington, right?
Yep. I'm about 45 minutes from Lexington.
Which means you're not too far away to come down here to Padre Island. I mean, yeah, it's a haul.
Throw that in there.
Why?
You gotta throw that one in there, right?
I had to. Grant did it.
Monica, what you doing? Good to see you, Monica.
So, catching up on the chat here, Danny Baker Fishing says, I'll even cut out the vocals and adjust the volume up for each one sometimes. Huge pain, though. You are preaching to the choir. You would not even believe some of the stuff that I have done to edit videos before. It's comical. Scully Nation Adventure says, no, because my editing stuff is literally cheap as can be. I don't even have a computer. You are speaking my language on that. I don't either. I do it all on a phone. Yep. I think you know that. But also at the same time, I mean, that's kind of one of those things where it's like it can be done. The wind has been why I started on alligator gar. It's brought them to a better feeding level last week or so. That's really cool to know. I'm curious, like, what lake are you going to for alligator gar? Actually had one swim by us at the jetty in Port Aransas the other day. Not unheard of, but weird. What's up?
So the white bass are running up here right now.
That was a couple months ago here.
Anybody? Does anybody here follow Hoosier Back?
I do. I haven't watched any of his stuff recently.
He's been he's hitting TikTok really hard, but I'm familiar with him. He's a good guy, and he was catching white bass out of a pond. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm sure everybody has like something to say about this. Miss Monica Tia says something new. I was introduced to Pabst Blue Ribbon hard coffee with some other flavors like salted caramel too. 5%, but like an iced coffee and no beer taste at all. Well, that takes away half the fun of it being a beer.
I'm anti-coffee, so I couldn't.
Oh,
I like my coffee in the morning and hot.
I'll tell you, I'll have a cup of coffee 1, maybe 2 times a year, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, I will have a cup of coffee 1, maybe 2 times an hour every single morning.
I will have 2 to 3 cups every morning.
Yeah, I hit the coffee hard.
Typically 3.
I'm not saying it's good for me, but I do hit it hard.
I'll take my sweet tea any day.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
Like tea, but it doesn't give me that morning get going like coffee does. Not
That's breakfast
cold
and lunch for me.
Not cold coffee and not that mochaccino, lottie dottie, all that stuff. Just some coffee, a little bit of sugar, maybe a little bit of milk.
So you don't like that hippie stuff then, huh?
No, none of that fancy stuff.
Monica says, I'm anti-pawn predator now.
It's okay. You'll be back, Monica. They always come back.
I like this. So in Texas, we have Lone Star, and Lone Star and Pabst are similar. Just between us, I think Pabst is better, but as a Texan, I have to claim my Lone Star representation. Oh, shoot, I clicked on the wrong one. So Ben says, if I bought a PBR, I'd have to turn myself into local authorities, and that's the reason why.
PBR.
Kelly says anti-coffee. That's communist, ain't it? Geez, how do you operate? I'm like that. If they literally had a way for me to inject coffee, like if I could have a nurse who would sit there with an IV, I'd try it.
Well, see, you know something funny though? I don't really drink coffee, but I will on occasion do coffee ice cream. I'm the same way with root beer too. I can't stand root beer drinks or anything like that. But I could do a root beer sucker, a root beer float, or something like that. Not drinking. Nope.
So you're saying you're a little weird is all you're saying.
Well, yeah, I can say that.
Scully says PBR was his dirty 30 of choice. I was a Keystone guy, but that was but it was only because of Keith Stone. Was their mark, whatever, their commercial guy was Keith Stone. And I was down here. So this musician I'm a big fan of down here. One of these days, he's going to be on the channel. I promise you. His name's Ty Dietz. He's freaking amazing. I love his music to death. He's a great personality, and I count him as a personal friend. And he's like, so Ty Dietz was my personal Keith Stone. And so I'm drinking Keystone because of my ties to Keith Stone, and my Keith Stone is Ty Dietz. I don't know. I was 20, whatever. 30. I was 30 then, whatever. But that's like my Keystone.
Natty Light.
You bringing up Keystone and Natty Light, it's like bringing up Boone's Farm when we were kids.
I've done the Mad Dogs.
Mad Dog, yeah, 2020.
Wild Irish Rose. My grandpa.
Yes, had those nights too. Ooh, Adam Mahara. Hey, man, how are you doing? Hadn't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. He says he brews his own root beer. That's cool.
Keystone was cheap. That's why you drink it. Be honest.
Dude,
like
Mickey's. Anybody do the holy hand grenades?
Mickey Big Mouth?
Yeah, the big mouth, not the big 40s. Those are gross.
Right.
The little hand grenades.
Right. Bless you.
Gesundheit.
She said, thank you.
Nasty lights.
PBR
This is such a fun conversation. All the nasty old beer that we all do. Anybody else drink Pearl?
Yeah.
When I used to drink
a little bit of all of it.
I was a quarter.
Especially if it was free.
Which it typically is.
Yep. Someone else's, they offer you one, you can't say no.
Yeah.
Hey, the best tour opportunity on vacation I've ever had was at the Budweiser factory and the Bacardi factory down in Jacksonville.
They got a good one. Shiner's got a good one too, apparently. I haven't been myself, but I'm a big fan.
And then if you decide to just actually stop through Kentucky again instead of just driving through like you did the last time, sir.
I'm trying. You don't even know the journey I'm going on with these trips.
Bless you.
It's comical how these trips go, because my wife is notorious. Like, she wants to cram everything, and I kind of want to do the same, but I want to cram one thing. Like the last time we went to Wisconsin, I wanted to cram in Michigan. So we did. We drove up through Michigan and then came back around into Wisconsin, and that was my cramming it in. So this year I have to be in Anaheim.
Yeah.
We had to miss out on Cozumel. So now Rachel is like this Wisconsin trip that we do every year. This is the plan is to go to Cozumel, fly from Cozumel to California, and then from California come back to Texas so that we can drive up into Wisconsin. Michigan, if we can fit that in there like that. Okay, then let's cram Michigan in. We'll do Wisconsin to come back in time for Wisconsin to join us down here if we don't manage to add a Florida leg to that, or Kentucky.
Well, I will be the first to tell you that you need to have at least 2 days when you're here. Because
I can't argue. It's gorgeous. I will say Kentucky is gorgeous.
Well, if you come during like this time in May or this time in spring for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks in October, that's horse racing time. That's a team. Of course, the Derby's in 2 weeks.
That would be kind of fun.
But
who's Rick's?
Yes,
Rick's.
Oh
yeah, Monica. I like Jack Green Apple on the Rick's. Wow, that got. I'm gonna go ahead and take that down. It just got demonetized.
She said rocks afterwards. You know what you meant.
Jason C, how are you doing, man? Good friend of mine here, my new buddy from not my new buddy, he's my buddy. Jason C, good to see you, man. Appreciate you coming hanging out with us.
Yeah, my house is literally the shortest or closest distillery is about 20 minutes away. The farthest one away is about an hour and a half away. I'm right near Maker's Mark's about 45 minutes. Buffalo Trace is about 30 minutes. Wild Turkey, Woodford Reserve is all within 20 minutes. And they just activated tours again too. And tours means tastings.
Did you say Woodford Reserve?
Yep.
That is a good whiskey.
And Four Roses is right there too.
Yeah, you guys got some, man. Hey, Mountain Bushcrafters Alliance jumping in with the Kentucky sure is laughable. I don't know emojis. I think he's trying to say something nice though.
Mm-hmm.
You got me on. You're selling me on the whiskeys. I'm not gonna lie. And Rachel and I have become Scotch drinkers in the last 2 years thanks to the pandemic. So you're speaking my language.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I've been to a couple of distilleries before. When my wife, when she was working in, she was in a business office because she works for a power company, and she had to go down to Campbellsville, which is relatively close to Laredo, to work. So I'd go do a tour there. But the best tour I'd ever been on was one that I actually won at Keeneland 2 years ago for a VIP's treatment at Buffalo Trace. You got the full in-depth tour of it. Had a personal tour guide. You had lunch with the master distillers. You got free booze and a bunch of other good stuff. And it didn't cost me a penny. I had tickets for 8 people. Only 3 of us ended up going, me, my wife, and my father-in-law. The other ones couldn't make it because they had to work. We walked into lunch and it was like, you got all the different brandies or bourbons tasting out there. Then filet mignons and anything else you could think of. Had it set up for you could have fed 20 people there. And it was just 3 of us in the master distillery.
I do got to say, I am a fan of Kentucky bourbon.
Is that a plastic bottle?
It is a plastic bottle of Kentucky Deluxe. It says Deluxe right there.
Down at the bottom it says Made in China.
That looks like Korean.
All I know is it burns real hot.
That's special stuff.
Top shelf.
Yeah. Top shelf.
Yeah, because they're all pretty much gone back to making fully bourbon now since they did the big switch to hand sanitizer. No joke. You go to a place that's selling hand sanitizer. How you can tell if it was made at a distillery without the packaging? Put it in your hands a little bit, rub it all over your hands, let it sit for about 45 seconds and smell it. If it smells like bread, then that came from the distillery.
Oh, that's interesting. My dad works at one of the refineries down here in Corpus Christi, and so he was responsible for making the. He works in the lab over there, so he was responsible for making the hand sanitizer for the refineries, that he was working at, and he made a lot. They didn't have any. They needed a lot, so they made a whole lot. And he was a pro at making hand sanitizer after that. And then all of us are sitting on like 5-gallon buckets of like hand sanitizer now.
Gotta be prepared. Be prepared, people.
Okay, Fishing, how are you doing, man? I appreciate you coming and hanging out, sir. This gentleman is our new mod on the Discord server that we've got going on. There is a link in the description down below. This dude is blowing that thing up. If you want some after hours chat, you want to talk about fishing, share some videos and stuff like that, check out this Discord server. It is the premier Discord server. Check out OK Fishing. Great channel, great gentleman, and he is killing it for me. I appreciate that, sir. He says, I'm just going to take a sip of my milk and try not to feel left out. Dude, you are not left out. You are probably the most clear out of all of us. I don't know, Jeff, I don't know if you're drinking or not. And Grant, I believe you are. Yeah, you're on call.
Yeah.
I'm on the hard stuff of Lipton sweet tea right now.
So, yeah, actually, OK Fishing, you are in the majority here, to be honest with you, and don't feel like you're left out or nothing. You are in good company. Jason C says, I prefer Jack and Coke. Can't drink any liquor. Can't drink anything straight. Yeah, I kind of mix them myself, although a good bottle of scotch, man. One of these days, I got the opportunity to drink some scotch with Ben out at the beach. I cannot wait to do that again, and I look forward for like all of us to be able to do that. Another opportunity. We need to get something like that going again. I know that
we're going to have to definitely get together.
Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't have to be this year, but man, like we managed to get it together a couple of times. Had a total blast. Like I can't remember the last time I had that much fun. I encourage everybody get in on that. Let's do this as a big group thing. This can be like a total nationwide niche takeover kind of a thing. It's just so fun. Like I encourage everybody to jump in on this because we're having a blast. Kelly was asking a while back. He's like, I want to come down there.
Wow.
And we were telling him like, hey, we've got this plan. Like we're all going to get together. We're going to have this big old thing. He's like, well, I can't make it that weekend. Dude, like you need to jump in on this. Like we're having fun. Come on and jump in on this, like, but we can't reschedule like the weekend. You need to get in on the big party.
Yeah, we were going to try to come down the weekend of like the 8th and 9th, I believe, of October. And then we got a wedding invitation for that weekend. So we might try to come the weekend after that.
Sounds like a plan.
What was the weekend? Do you recall?
October, let's see.
Probably the 15th, isn't it?
Oh, Ben, man, I appreciate that, man. It's really nice of you. She scares the bejesus out of me as well.
Like the 15th, 16th, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we got a wedding on the 8th.
Oh, man, so you're talking about going back to back.
Well, it's local. The wedding's local.
Okay. Yeah, Danny, get on. I'm not even kidding, dude. We had like so much fun, and it would be so much more fun doing this. I mean, when we did Sharkathon, that was a little bit different. Grant wasn't down for Sharkathon, but when we did that, like we ended up camping out for like 3 days. It was 3 days of like 72 hours of fishing. But it doesn't mean you have to sit out there for 72 hours. We had a campsite, like a good sized campsite. We're catching sharks. We're having fun. Everybody's got like their hotels and their rooms that they're staying in and stuff like that. And you wake up, you have your coffee or your Pabst or whatever it is you're working on at 7 o'clock in the morning. You come down, do a little bit of fishing at the beach, have a good time, and then you go back, have dinner, and come back for a bonfire or something. It was just a cool way that we had the whole thing. And that was for Sharkathon. It was fairly similar. When Grant came down, it was fairly similar, except that dude is horrendous. He's used to that Midwestern schedule where he can wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and not go to bed until 11 o'clock at night. And that was work, keeping up with that.
I remember when I used to do that.
Yeah, exactly. When you're like 18. That's just how this dude operates. He was just like up at 4 o'clock in the morning being like, hey, you guys want to go do some fishing? And I can't say no. I can't be like, I'm tired. I'm worn out.
Grant's probably just got a pick line set up for coffee starting out about 2 hours before he gets up. That way when he wakes up, he's already ready to roll.
When we were in Michigan,
I drink coffee at work, but that's about it.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, we don't even have a coffee pot at home.
When we were in Au Gres, we fished like we've been traveling for we've been
There you
driving
go.
for 2 days. We get to Au Gres, and we're like, we're gonna go fishing. We're gonna go out on Saginaw Bay. We're gonna go fishing. Fished all day, and it was in the rain. It was work. You know, we were a little bit worn out. It wasn't heinous, but it was a day of fishing. And then we went and filleted all these fish. Go back to the house. And we're all like having a fish fry, and the wives are cooking up all the fish and everything, and we're had a couple of drinks and stuff like that. And Grant's like, "Hey, let's go fishing." Like he wasn't done. It was raining, like it was pouring out. There's thunderstorms blowing in, and Grant's like, "Hey, I'm gonna head down to the lake. I'm gonna try some bass fishing on the jetty over here."
Yes,
Well,
Mike.
They call yourself Lieutenant Danner Forrest. Mm-mm-mm.
I speak very highly of you, Grant. I tell that story a lot to everybody around here, so I needed to tell that in front of you, let you know how much I admire your work ethic, if nothing else. You kept me on my toes the whole time, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I need to get that back. Get that motivation back.
And it was easy for me to say, "Oh, you guys want to go ahead." I'm not. I'm staying back here at the house, relaxing the bag. You guys have fun.
Kelly says we have to go fishing when we can, not when we want to. Grant, not full timer either. Yeah, you do. But like Grant, dude, like I don't even know. He needs a camera person filming him or something because he's so like focused on the fishing that he does. I can see how you have a hard time filming it.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah,
cameras
need to
do you
catch some fish.
How many cameras do you use, Grant?
Now I've got the Max. I haven't taken it fishing yet. I got some decent footage duck hunting, but no, I've got a Hero Silver 4 and that Max, and I had a couple Tacticams, lost one. The back fell off the other one.
That's something I got to get in the habit of using more cameras when I'm out.
I tell you what, I switched to 2 cameras. I've got the phone that I use, and then I'll have my wife filming with her phone.
Yeah.
And I've got the 360 camera that I now mount on my chest. It's so that I have 2 different angles, and man, that makes such a huge difference just having 2. Jason C. Okay, this is a question for everybody. Jeff, I'm gonna let you go first. We're gonna let everybody answer this because I am curious what your thoughts are on this question. Jason C. says, "I know everyone enjoys fishing, but I'm curious what's the most fish you have ate in one seating?" Everybody in the chat, I want your answers on this because this seems like it's going to be a fun topic of conversation. While I'm waiting on everybody in the chat, Jeff, what is the most fish you have ate in one seating?
In one seating, this would probably been about, it's like 5 years ago. Catfish probably had 12 or 15 fillets, full fillets at one time.
Yeah.
But now, about 1.
Yeah, okay, so anybody who's not already subscribed to Pond Predator Nation, you need to be. He's got an excellent channel. This is one of our OGs. He's been with us for years now, and he's been on a weight loss journey that puts the rest of us to shame. So kudos on that, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, as of right now, yeah, just 1. And take that 1, it'd probably take about 30, 45 minutes to do it.
Kelly with Blue Collar Fishing says 22 fillets of perch one Friday night, fish fry in Minnesota Tavern, all you can eat. Wanted to get my money's worth. I admire that. I think my answer probably stems from an all you can eat buffet. Grant, what's the most you ever ate, man?
And I'd say I've probably eaten 6 or 8 bluegill before. You know, take home some of them 8-9 inchers, and you get about a bite and a half out of each fillet. Depends on how bad you want to eat fish.
Yeah.
Well, see, everybody in y'all's houses eats fish, right?
Yeah.
Yours don't, John?
My wife, we ate flounder last night and she liked it, but typically she's not a big fish eater. And if it has any fish taste at all, she's not going to eat it.
Well,
Do you ever soak it in milk or anything?
Yeah, I've done that.
Does that work?
It helped with pike when we had pike back in the day.
Oh, okay.
You see, I'm the only one that eats fish in my house. If it comes out of the water or anything, my wife ain't having it.
Yeah,
that makes it harder because when you're going to cook it, you're going to have a meal that they're not going to eat, and that's a challenge.
So I went crappie fishing probably 3 years ago, and we limited out 2 times with her and her cousin. It was me and her cousin that went. So he ended up giving me all the crappie. I was like, what am I supposed to do? I can't eat all this. It's all going to go bad. So I had to take and divide it up. 2 here, 2 there, 2 here, 2 there. It probably took me almost 6 months to get through all of it. And that's eating it religiously once or twice a week.
That's good eating, though.
Yep.
Yeah. I would do fish 3 or 4 times a week. My family's real good about making me do something different every day, and we switch off and do all this stuff. I don't mind cooking 2 different things on one sitting, but thankfully my family does like fish, so we do eat a lot of fish. Danny Baker says, damn, I've probably wiped out a few piles of fish drinking at fish fries. A few piles of fish drinking at fish fries. We just threw one last weekend. Yeah, and you'll see. Like, we're going to do Sharkathon, something like that. Yeah, we're on the same page. Ben Covarrubias says, younger days, Jason, but about a dozen speck fillets fried in mashed potato flakes. That sounds good. I've never done the mashed potato flakes before.
Well, it actually tastes pretty good.
Okay, fishing. I love you, dude. Says, fishing is my life, and I don't like to eat fish. I can respect that. I'm going to get you down here, and I'm going to stuff you with some fish. But I do respect that. I just going to be open and clear about that.
We'll make you a special fish milkshake.
Oh, dude, I'll make it good, dude. I will soak that thing. I'll spend 24 hours. I'll get your flounder. I'll soak it in milk. I'll do whatever I got to do to make it right, but I'm going to get fish in you, and I'm going to get you liking fish when you're down here. Mark J. Larson says, I almost foundered myself at a bar when they had all you could eat bluegill. Oh, you guys up north, I'm so envious of that. We don't have that, and I'm envious of it. Scully Nation Adventure says, I ate 15 smoked pompano in one sitting and couldn't move. You had a food coma in the restaurant. I assume it's a restaurant.
Wow.
If I make smoked fish dip, I'll overeat and get sick. Scully Nation says 5 of those pompanos were made, and a fish dip lasted 20 minutes. Yeah, my wife and my family do a shrimp dip the same way.
I can't say I've ever had that before.
Dude, shrimp dip is good. Like, if we'll make shrimp, and if for some reason, like, we buy shrimp by the multiple pounds, and if we can't go through 2 pounds of shrimp and there's some left over for the next day, we'll throw that through a blender with some cream cheese and make a dip out of it.
I forget that you're not on Facebook, Stanley, so you missed it. But I was bragging to people. I went down surf fishing. I said surf fishing wasn't good, but I ended up with 5 pounds of Gulf shrimp, 2 red snapper, and a flounder that I got at Paul's Fish Market. But yeah, that was the flounder we ate yesterday. I made stuffed flounder. It was freaking delicious.
Scully Nation says he was at home. Yeah, that's one of the great things about like fishing down here, like on the beach and everything, is you over order on your bait because you can always cook it. Yep. You know, your bait's going to be shrimp and crab or something like that. You know, it's going to come out really good as a side on your meal.
Never get skunked.
Yeah, exactly. And there's always Paul's. I've done that before. I've gone to Paul's and bought a fish. I haven't done a video on that, but I plan on it.
Yeah, that flounder was good. I'm looking forward to trying the red snapper.
Oh, same thing. I can't believe Audrey doesn't like red snapper more than flounder. Honestly,
I haven't tried the red snapper yet. She's never had it.
Got to try that one then.
The first time she's had it. They'll make fish sandwiches out of it.
Kelly's saying that guys in the South buy shrimp for catfish bait, which I never got. Catfish is $6 a pound. Shrimp is $13 a pound. Chicken livers is $1.
It's all about the fish.
I see that chicken livers and that shrimp, and I toss it aside and give me a 70-cent pack of cheap hot dogs any day for catfish.
Yeah, some pantyhose and a hot dog, right? Isn't that what you use for that stuff?
I just literally I go to Walmart, get the cheapest pack of hot dogs I can find. If I'm going there about 2 or 3 days in advance, and I'll take it home. I won't mix it up with anything. I'll just let it sit out for 2 or 3 days. Then use that.
I've heard that before. What's the other options? Aren't like soaking it in corn or something like that?
Some people use Kool-Aid Some people with garlic and licorice stuff in it.
Yep.
I know
guys
one guy.
here
I know one guy that I know one guy does Kool-Aid and bourbon. He puts in it. He stands by it, but
What's he want the fish to break up with his wife?
I have no idea. I said he guess he's wanting to get him let him feel good on the ride back up to him. Who knows?
Got a cast net, just get some shad.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. You're speaking my language on that. I don't know. It would take me. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that because he's right. I'm not spending $13 a thing for bait on catfish, but it's so easy. Like catfish to me are like one of those things. Like they'll eat anything. It just needs scent. Like they just need something to track down. I thought.
It depends on what you're targeting. If you're channel cats, you're pretty right. Blues and especially flatheads a little bit tougher to. Especially flatheads like a live bait. Typically, you're using a little bluegill or something like that.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're the more predator of the catfish, and that's probably why they, in my opinion, they're the best tasting catfish.
See, that's why I got myself a John, is specifically so that whenever I get into a lake or something like that, and I need some advice on catching cats. That's why I got you, man. And I've leaned on that one before. I will be leaning on it again next time we get that chance. Kelly says, if you want to catch trophies, use what they eat. Catfish are apex predators in the water. They eat shad and bluegill. You say that. You've never had to catch a hardhead.
The difference.
There's a difference. Yeah, hardheads are, that's a scab of a fish.
Yeah.
Well, last year I got
freshwater cats.
Last year I got a 30-pound flathead on a helper knife.
That's good fish.
And I've used squid on one before too.
Oh, I could see squid being. That's a smelly bait. I could see that.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Scully Nation says flathead, love them live fish for sure. That's interesting. I never thought about using live bait for catfish. Catfish down here. So the catfishing that we do, and I'll be honest, I don't know if this is even legal. This is just something that we do. But we take. I don't even know what we take. Just whatever piece of meat, chicken, whatever. But when it rains a lot and the creeks come up and everything starts to flood, we go down to the local bridge. At least we did when we were kids 20 years ago. We'd walk down to the local bridge where the creek was flooding, and tie it off to tie a nylon cord off to the bridge. 3 or 4 of them down the bridge. We had a railroad bridge for a railroad thing that wasn't working anymore. We tie those things off, throw a bait out there, leave it overnight, come back in the morning and haul in several big, I don't even know, like 30, 35-inch fish. I don't even know what kind of catfish they were. I just know they were big and we ate them.
Probably blue cats. Around here. We don't get big channels in South Texas. We get big blues and flatheads. Yeah, so that's the thing. When something floods over, that's a new feeding area. So yeah, the cats will come up. Bass do it too, but cats will come up in there. And so what you're doing, that's why it worked, because they're coming up there looking for food that they couldn't get to before.
That's why it's always good to hit a spillway area right after the big flood and rain.
Exactly.
You've seen, I've got several videos out on one of my river wading spots. That same spot right by the Blows spillway. One that you've seen, I usually stop at going pretty much all when I spot a fish at. Water gets about 4.5, 5 foot deep. But every time after it rains, that flood comes down from the river. I've caught everything from biggest bass I caught from that was like a 6-pounder. Biggest catfish I ever caught from there was right at 10 pounds. But anything and everything has been right there, all in that little area.
Yeah.
That's why I love fishing after flood.
You're running out of time, Stanley.
Yeah, I am, and I apologize for that. I was getting wrapped up in these conversations. I'm learning stuff, and so when I'm learning stuff, I'm like, I'm into it and I'm hitting it. So yeah, we are at the man. We are like pushing it hard here. I apologize for that. However, before we like continue on with everything we're going to do for the rest of the afternoon, guys, let me know, what have you got going on for the rest of the week? What can we expect to see from you coming up in the near future? Jeff, I'm going to start with you, sir.
Rest of the week, finishing up some lures for some orders to ship out on the West Coast. Daddy Daycare in full swing, hoping to get out and do a little bit of fishing maybe Friday. and that's about it.
Can we expect some videos from you, or are you going to be leaning heavily into Twitter and Instagram at the moment?
I'm planning on always go out with the intent of making a video. Now, whether it happens or not, that's a whole different ballgame.
You need to get those videos that you got edited.
I know. Trust me. I'm sitting here looking at. I'm sitting here on here. I'm looking at which one I want to hit next. That's going to be the first thing. Is I need to go ahead and upload these and edit these.
So real quick, Grant, John, I'll get you guys just a second, but real quick, Jeff. So we had a thing that we did on Twitter it was a couple months ago now. We had a lot of fun where we were like, oh, we're all going to go fishing on this one particular day. I didn't end up making a video out of that because the whole thing just kind of imploded on me. But that was a lot of fun, and I appreciate you doing that. Check out everybody on social media. Like I said, I've got YouTube links in the description down below, but check them out on social media because we have fun with stuff like that. And I do intend on making a video out of something like that where we're all like just one day, hey, we're all going fishing. Let's see who's got the best picture. And we like to include as many people as possible and have some fun with it.
Yep.
So, Jeff, I had a lot of fun with that. And I look forward to redoing that whole thing and doing it right in the future. Grant, you got some gardening stuff coming up for us? Is that what we can kind of like hope to see here on video in the near future?
I'll go ahead and promise a garden video this week.
I like that. Nice.
Promise.
Committed.
Nice. Did we freeze?
John, we going to get a Padre Island video at all?
No, you're not going to get a Padre Island video at all. I will not promise anything, though I may have a vlog on my other vlog and a podcast. Maybe.
Oh, yes. Speaking of which, I need to trade off podcasts with you. I know we'd talked about that. We haven't finished that off. But I need to do a podcast. We had talked about doing on yours. I need to switch off on that. So anyway, yeah. Check out podcasts as well. There's some good ones out there. John's got one. We got the Tackle Box Talk podcast myself. And that is what I've got. Anybody else have anything to add for this week before we shut her down?
I appreciate you
now
guys
or forever hold your peace. Sorry, what was that?
I said I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a long time coming. It was fun.
Jeff, it was an absolute pleasure. We had you canceled a couple weeks ago, and I apologize that I forget the circumstances, but I thank you so much for coming and joining us again for this one this week. Had a lot of fun. I look forward to doing that again in the near future. Everybody in the chat, everybody watching at home, if you're checking this out after it's no longer live, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had an absolute blast. Have a wonderful week. And hit us up on social media. I look forward to seeing what everybody does this coming weekend so that we can share pictures in the next live stream next Tuesday, which is going to be at whose channel? Is it going to be at Grant? Grant's next. Check out Grant McIntosh. Subscribe to his channel in the description down below. We will see you in the next live stream. Have a wonderful week, guys. And peace out. I forgot. Where's my brand thing? I forgot.
You can do it. You can do it. Stan.
Dude, I'm so failing at there it is. Okay, I missed it. Sorry. Bye, guys.